Hey, welcome guys, I'm Juan Pablo. I'm a full-time real estate investor and I'm here to share with you some information today on how to perform the financial due diligence of a rental property. So being a real estate investor, you have to trust but verify. What do I mean by that? Well, you have to trust that the information the seller provides, which is called a listing, right? A listing is pretty much some information that you obtain from a real estate agent that outlines everything you need to know, well, almost everything you need to know in regards to a rental property or a house that you want to use for your personal use as well. But it's up to you as an investor to comb through everything, all the numbers, and verify its accuracy. That's one of the biggest mistakes I made starting off in real estate. I will buy a property and I didn't have a clue about due diligence or financial due diligence for that matter. Now there's two types of due diligence, and I'm going to talk about just one of those due diligence for the purposes of this video. There's financial due diligence and physical due diligence. And I always preference you start with the financial first, because there's no point in spending money going to take a look at the property, doing a property inspection, performing an appraisal, and you can't even get all the leases. And you can't even look at all the expenses. You can't even perform the financial due diligence. You'll be wasting your own time as well as your partners. And even worse, you'll be wasting your own money and even your partners. Do not ever put the cart before the horse, perform the physical due diligence before the financial. And if any of this stuff sounds like a foreign language to you, it's okay. I was the same way when I got started in real estate investing. I bought my first property at 26, but prior to that, I used to be a student in learning the ins and outs of real estate investing for about 2 years. In my first seminar, I felt like a 5th grader in a college course. I had no clue what this guy was talking about. However, I felt like I belonged. So if you feel like you belong, continue to watch all the videos. Please like, please share, and subscribe so we can get more content for you. Now back to trust but verify. You might be thinking, well, Juan Pablo, well, how do I verify this? Great question. You need to receive documentation from the seller directly. What kind of documentation? I'm glad you asked. You're really thinking today. You have to get the leases, rent roll, as well as certain documentation proving the expenses. It just depends on the property. Some properties that you purchase as an owner, you have to pay for utilities. Some properties, the tenants pay for it. So it depends on who is responsible for utilities. But if you're responsible for utilities as the owner, like such as my properties, I have about 48 units in my portfolio currently. I've acquired about 72 units in total during my real estate investing tenure. Of course, some of them I flipped, sold, so now I'm scaled down to 48, but I'm still acquiring properties as well. I have a 6th unit under contract. And being that I have all these units and all these properties, I tell the seller, hey, on this property, I need what's called the trailing 12, the T12 in other words. I need to see a trailing 12, the past 12 months of utility bills. Oh, you can't produce them? Hey, well, guess what? It'll be difficult for me to close on this property, because not only do I want to see these documentations, but my real estate mortgage lender wants to see these financials as well when doing the underwriting for a mortgage. And I'm really talking about mortgages for commercial properties, because mortgages for commercial properties, only thing they care about is the numbers. They care about the property. 80% of their focus, their emphasis, their underwriting is on a property, and 20% is on you. So if you want to become financially free and independent, I highly recommend you do multifamily. Why? Multifamily investing is the fastest way to financial freedom. And that's what we teach here at 100% Finance. Teaching you to become financially free and independent so you can say goodbye to the 9 to 5. Earn passively, live passionately. That's our tagline. So let's get back into it. So we talked about performing the financial due diligence. You need to trust but verify. You need the seller docs, leases, rent roll, that proves the income. Now the expenses, trailing 12 of utilities if you're responsible for paying it. You will also need to see the seller's tax returns. What? Will the seller provide that information? It depends on your negotiation skills, in which we provide the step-by-step, the script that you could provide to make sure you get this information. And I also like to see copies of the tax bills, any type of expense this property owner may have. And you want to be able to verify that against the listing and other third-party information. Now, when you perform the financial due diligence and you're comparing the information on the listing against the documents the seller provided, as well as third-party information, you have to make sure that you do not make any judgments, meaning, hey, this seller's trying to rip me off. Why did it say the water bill was $2,500 on the listing, but when I checked out his taxes, it was actually $3,500? Don't do that. Always say, you know what? Do you mind providing an explanation? Why does it say $2,500 here, but $3,500 here? And if the explanation doesn't make sense, obviously you guessed right? Obviously, you need to renegotiate and go back to the drawing board to renegotiate the purchase price or the terms of the contract. So there you have it, my friends, just short and sweet about performing the financial due diligence. But if that's not enough for you, if you want some more in-depth information outside of the financial due diligence, such as the physical due diligence, how to write offers, what contingencies should you put in your offer to back out the deal, how to get started in multifamily, how do I analyze deals, how do I close on a property, what's the step-by-step blueprint, we have it all right here. The Quit Your Day Job Blueprint by yours truly. Just check the link below to learn more information. It's a good read. I try to break it down to make it as simplistic as possible, because again, I felt like a 5th grader in a college course, but I felt like I belonged, and I kept coming to the class. And I want you to keep watching these videos, but I want you to understand that being that I was in that same situation where I was just learning, or I had a few units and I wanted to catapult my results and go to the next level in real estate investing, I made sure that I, as an author, as a writer, break it down step by step to make it very simple and plain and digestible just for you. All right, so I appreciate your time. Don't just be a viewer, be a doer. Continue to earn fast, live passionately, and check the link below to learn more. Peace.